It's May 26th, 2020, and you know why you're here, so let's kick this off right and introduce the players. Hey, I'm Gerissar, a PvP Padawan.
Hey everyone, I'm Andallyn.
I'm Win.
Guys.
I wanted to get that jump on it.
And it never has worked.
Seriously, it's like every time, it's like the doors open on the arena, you guys rush in, and it's whoever gets off that first stun.
You need to ordain him as last, or he will never be last.
That's because I'm always first.
You were second. You're always second.
Everything
Well,
I do.
you're always out of order.
You guys. Right, I love it. Right off the bat. We're right here. We're into it. But hey, rather than you guys fighting over who goes first and who goes second, why don't I just pick something and say, Andallyn, tell us what you've been up to for the last couple weeks.
Yes. So you guys did great on the episode last fortnight, really, with Stun God. Super awesome. Yep. Seeing him play through the AWC as well with Sheep God, some old friends from the Resurgent days. But yeah, we just got a puppy, so that's been exciting. It's been a lot of fun. She's been great. She's been a lot of attention needing, and she's wonderful though. Everything we could want. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog. It's Maggie. Maybe she'll make an appearance at some point during the show. We'll see.
Okay.
So, but yeah, other than that, been really hard at work over at Method as well. We are expanding our Mayhem series to include Warcraft 3, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft 2, and more to come. So we've been doing all these types of things, and we've got all kinds of different tournaments coming. And of course, after AWC rolls out, we'll be bringing back the World of Warcraft Method Mayhem series.
Nice.
And so there's going to be a lot of good stuff from that regard.
Serious question though.
Yeah.
Just for that. Out of anything you're planning, is there going to be some RBG stuff? Because I'm missing the RBG stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. RBGs is one of those. It's a tough area to delve into, and you know exactly why.
I know. I gotta still try. Yeah,
it's all about participation, and it's all about participants. If the participants can cultivate it enough to where, not even cultivate, just not make it a toxic scene. They don't even have to cultivate. We'll cultivate it, but if they could just not make it a scene that pushes people out, it'd be doable. But it's very difficult. We tried at Resurgent. Maybe one day we'll try, but it's not on the radar right now.
What if you know how they have intermission in between the matches at AWC? You know where we set up the next set of teams. What you do in those intermissions is that you take teams that are not playing, you throw them onto random groups and have them do an RBG while you wait for the next match to begin. That's what you do. And
cut off in the middle of the RBG?
You already got all these guys. Well, the intermissions are 10 to 15 minutes, and so you just got to pick a map that you feel that can be done in 10 to 15 minutes.
No, not even. The intermissions are 5 minutes, if that. They're talking, it breaks for 3 to 5 minutes, and then they're talking again, and then it rolls right into the next match.
Well, they need to extend the intermissions then, so they can do the cool little...
Oh, trust me, if anyone knows how to do breaks, it's us.
Yeah.
You've got all these players just sitting there waiting for the start, and it's hey, you teams that are not, that are on deck here, you 3 teams and you 3 teams, that's 12 players, random RBG. And that's how you feel your intermission time.
Interesting. I remember...
Unfortunately, one of the hardest things to do is get them into a game.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I missed what you said. You cut out there.
Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, one of the hardest things to do is getting them into games.
Yes.
Yeah, but it would be great if we could make that work. But, yeah.
That would be
fun.
Anyway.
But anyway, Windstead, what you been up to, my man?
Yeah.
I've been up to a lot of classic leveling and Shadowlands. I definitely spend most of my time in classic. I kind of got a good feel for the classes in Shadowlands, at least the classes that I'm most interested in. I definitely have it narrowed down between Paladin and Monk
Okay.
for my main.
Yeah.
And I'm still just debating, I'm still keeping it loose. I've played everything. I've even played Druid.
Are we
Just don't
talking
like
Holy and Mistweaver?
We're talking, Mistweaver Holy. I'm going to be healing. I enjoy healing. It's a very fun dynamic.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel that Holy and Monk are actually able to do the healing and damage better than a disc, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're meta right now, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, because you have the fist weaving that you can talent into, and I'm really enjoying fist weaving.
Mm-hmm.
Where I heal and then I run in and do some damage, and that helps set up for my next round of healing. That's a lot of fun. Paladin is just fun when you push that bastion, and we'll talk more about this later. But the holy shock button, where you just throw holy shock at everything.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty fun to
that
push.
is really cool. I loved playing that at I played that at BlizzCon.
Yeah, I'm
last
pretty
year.
sure it heals and damages at the same time too.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it's really fun to just be like, push that button, holy shocks in all directions. And then, it's just, I like those two classes. I'll need to check with my wife. I'm pretty sure she's going to roll Paladin
Okay.
for Shadowlands, which means I'll probably go Monk, because healing a Paladin as a Paladin is not the best. You just have some things that kind of overlap, with, what's that thing called? When you have Forbearance. When you have the tank using some cooldowns and you're trying to use cooldowns on top of that, you can overlap some things, and it's just bad when that happens. So if she's going Paladin, I'll probably end up Monk. And then on the classic side, I've been leveling my Mage on US East, and really enjoying the guild over there. Having a lot of fun with that.
Good.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that they're still going, considering all the other stuff.
Yeah, no, they're still around. It's
Ooh.
still talking with Krim, and we may be able to work something out in the next couple of weeks, maybe next month, after some more real life trauma has calmed down a little bit. So
I understand. Yeah. I still understand the thought process behind some people threatening a guy in real life and his livelihood because of a video game. I just don't understand that.
Game, dude. It's a game.
Well, some people, it is their life. But
yeah,
it's unfortunate.
Very, very true.
Yeah. But anyway,
All right.
Gerissar,
what about you, Gerissar?
So I was
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah. Still doing the auction house stuff. Still trying, making some gold, but I kind of gave up on trying to corner the gem market after about 2 months. It was just, I was burning too much gold. I was using way more gold than I was able to earn out of doing that. Too many people were still undercutting, like ridiculous amounts. So I stopped that, but doing, moved on to some other things on the auction house stuff. Still doing. The other weekend, I ended up because we had that the arena skirms. I ended up meeting some cool people over on the LFG. So just did up some LFG things. It was like super late at night on like Saturday night, Sunday night, so or Friday night, Saturday night, I guess. So met with some cool people there. Got out my 10 wins and actually chopped out the bar one. So I was able to get the chest, which happily granted me a low key safeguard trinket. I was really happy to disenchant that. Unfortunately, I didn't cap out this week. I missed it by I think about 100 conquests. I just couldn't get around to it. So ended up not getting chest this morning, which I was kind of sad panda about. But
sad day.
Yeah. Well, this after that weekend push and all the arena stuff, I was pretty busy this week, the past week. So just hadn't got around to doing the in-game things I need to get done. So hopefully this week I will be able to get in some more gameplay and maybe earn some more Nyalotha tokens or whatever for so I can actually afford some corruption.
Echoes.
Yeah, the echoes when they
Yeah.
actually ends up being good stuff.
Do we
for
know
me.
what's on the rotation for this week?
We do, and it's actually in a link down in the news at the bottom, and we're going to get to that when we get to that. But before we do that, and before we let Andallyn jump ahead throughout all the show notes and skip the whole show in 15 minutes,
Classic.
why don't we talk about greed and
let's
pass?
roll it. Let's roll into the need greed pass.
Oh, ching. Love it.
My internet's being rather unreliable right now.
Oh, I was waiting for I can't hear it. I'm like, what's going on?
Hold on. I'm plotting my
Alright.
ping to be able to see what's going on.
Oh, are we getting all desynced? This audio audio sounded a little choppy on my end earlier, but I wasn't sure if that was.
It was just Windstead's from my end. Was it mine as well?
No, you sounded pretty good. Actually, no, you sounded a little choppy there for a second or two, but
Okay.
that's okay. Sure, we'll figure it out.
I've been having this issue because I live on the like end of an internet's tree. Sorry, we're gonna have a quick little aside if it is working,
Okay.
just to let it stabilize.
Well, while you talk, I'll look at chat and chat can tell us how we sound.
Okay. So I have I live on the end of a tree of like this internet web, network web, and apparently I've got a guy at Comcast who he's like, hey, text me when it goes off or when it has issues, because apparently the people upstream of me can mess with my signal, which I don't like a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm almost wondering if I can call the second company and literally just tell them like, hey, I will pay you to run the line to my house. Like, because they're not currently hooked up to my house. So it's like I only have one option. But anyway, we seem to be somewhat stable now.
Yeah. You dropped out just in a second there when you peaked a little bit on the audio, but other than that, you sounded good.
Cool. All right.
So,
Well, how about we roll into Need Grid Pass?
let's do it.
This likely won't be a clean fight, so keep your distance, eh?
Yes, we are keeping our distance, 6 feet to be exact. Speaking of which, boys, we're jumping ahead in the news a little bit, but BlizzCon 2020,
Yes.
Ripperoni and cheese. Yes. Amen.
So went out for BlizzCon 2020.
Yeah, that's right. So in light of that, we are throwing to our Need Greed Pass this week with a little bit of a BlizzCon spin to it. So are you ready? We are going to Need Greed Pass on the future of BlizzCon. Well, not really the future of BlizzCon, but it's BlizzCon themed. So Need Greed Pass, we can have a virtual BlizzCon this year where you actually can download the app, the BlizzCon app on your phone, and it's VR.
Yeah.
You could put on the goggles, and you and everybody are at BlizzCon.
Oh wow! Okay.
From the comforts of your own clean, safe, disinfected home. Number 2, BlizzCon is free for life if you were going to go this year.
Okay.
Or 3, BlizzCon is now a 5-day event here on out.
Ooh.
So let me run these back for you and give you a little bit longer to think, because this is a tough one, I know. So we've got option number 1. We have a virtual BlizzCon this year. We're downloading the app, and through the app, you can join your friends and everyone else in the unique BlizzCon experience from the comforts of your own home. Or option number 2, BlizzCon is free for life from now on. Or option number 3, from now on, BlizzCon is a 5-day event from here on out.
I think I'm ready.
Okay, let's hear it.
I would need Oh, it's really tough. I think I would need the BlizzCon is free for life. But the problem is that I'm willing to bet if that's the case, then it's still going to be a mad rush to like get into BlizzCon, and so you're still going to have all that competition. So because they can only allow so many people in the building at a time. So, I would greed the 5 days, and I would pass on the VR.
Why pass on the VR?
Because I prefer reality to some things.
Like those of a virtual nature?
Yeah.
What about games?
If I can't see Gerissar in person,
What if you took that approach with games?
not as with games.
Yeah.
I'm still interacting with people in the real world.
You're
Just through
still interacting with people
like,
in the real
the
world.
VR
through-
with. I mean.
Sorry, you do it to
want
me, so I got to do it to you.
I wouldn't. I don't necessarily want to get into like the reason for the VR.
You guys.
Because I'm in that health category where I'm pretty sure that I'm not in danger, per se.
Okay.
And so the virtual reality just for the 1 year, The fact that I would love to go to BlizzCon anytime I can and not have to shell out, for me and my wife, $600 per se.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Every time I go to BlizzCon.
Yeah. It would make it tougher to get in, though.
It
You're
would
right
make
about that.
And there's already and that's a and it should just be free for me. Let's be fair here. Free for me.
Why?
Everybody else has got to pay.
Why? Because you need it on it?
Oh yeah.
But you didn't
And
need
then
on it.
the 5 I needed on the free for me.
Okay.
And then greed on the 5 days because it would be really fun to have it stretch longer. But you have to think about compound interest here. That every year I get 3 days for free every year for the rest of my life, or I get 5 days every year, but I have to pay for it. And so I just think as a financial incentive, it would be better for me to get the free ticket for the rest of my life than having to pay for 5 days every year.
That's 5 head right there.
So I mean that's the
Okay.
that's where I go with it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
Gerissar?
And
Yeah.
besides, I don't want to run into a wall while I'm walking into, Ian Hazzikostas' blurb on the next WoW expansion.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It would be with VR goggles.
All right.
I'm going to using hardcode. Oh!
Yeah.
I don't think you actually walk. I've never really actually done VR, but I don't think you actually walk around.
So
You can.
VR.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
don't
can. You're not going to, you can, when you're driving, you can drive into the ditch, but you don't.
Have you done VR, dude?
That's why I said, no, I haven't actually done it, but I've just watched it a few times.
You should try it because they have some setups that are like 2 cameras at the angle of the room, and you actually move in the space of the room, and the cameras are tracking you, and so you move in the game. So if I'm using my VR goggles and I'm walking around BlizzCon in my nice sterile house, there's a high probability that I'm going to walk into a wall.
Okay, fair enough. I think so. Hold on. Does this have to be VR or is it going to be virtual augmentation? Where
We said VR.
Okay, I just want to make sure because that if it's virtual augmentation, then that's completely different, and that'd be definitely like walking around outside or walking around the house or something like that. But I'm going to actually need on the VR. So I love BlizzCon. I love the energy. I actually don't mind the fact that I lose my voice every time I go, yelling and screaming at the arena games, and just all the other fun, talking with people, being able to interact with people, all that nerdy stuff. So I really wanted to go. I was really looking forward to try to figure it all out. So that is going to be my need. I am going to greed on the BlizzCon 5-day event from now on. I think every time we went, it's pretty much 5 days anyways, because you show up a couple days early, and then like by the time everything rolls out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the I feel like BlizzCon itself just being a weekend isn't long enough anymore for all the esports. Like they always end up having to do some esports before to try to knock out and compress the ladders, compress the brackets.
Yep.
I would rather that be actually at BlizzCon rather than some of it over at the BlizzCon arena stuff. Some in-house
Done beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
Exactly. And I am going to pass on the free for life if able to go this year, because screw all the scalpers that bought out all the tickets beforehand and tried to sell on eBay. They, like F, they're going to be able to go for free from now on. Just saying. That's my 2 cents.
Cool. I like it. I like it. This is actually really cool because for the first time ever in this Need Greedy Pass segment, we all are needing on a different item.
Holy.
I am going to roll need on the 5-day BlizzCon from here on out. I think that's the biggest. That's my favorite one out of all of these. I think it'd be really cool to do a VR. Yes, it'd be really cool for it to be free. I'm at a point right now where I haven't paid for BlizzCon, and so it's like that doesn't really mean too much to me. So 5 days, I think that's the biggest thing. I think that'd be the best. So I'm gonna roll neat on 5-day BlizzCons from here on out. I like Gerissar is completely right. I want to have space for all the esports, and I want you to be able to enjoy the World of Warcraft arena games and the Overwatch League if you want to watch both, rather than have to pick between the one or the other.
Or give up on either totally just to be able to get a chance to sit in front of
or the entire con. Like So, I mean, not to say that everything should be done in a singular series order. Things can be done in parallel still, but it needs to be spaced out. It's getting way too cramped. So yeah, I rolled neat on that. I'm gonna greed on the virtual BlizzCon in VR. So I think that'd be really neat. I've never actually done that before, and I'm gonna pass on the free for life because it's already pretty cheap. It's like $200 a ticket. So
yeah.
Well, glad you guys are making the big bucks.
Well, I mean, he's got a point. He's got the ticket for BlizzCon is probably the cheapest part. Like,
do you not know what the homeless laws are in California? You can literally just go park in a shopping mall and
but you have to rent it if you actually fly. Not everyone can drive there.
Yeah. So, hi, remember I'm from Canada.
I'm from the East Coast.
I guess I do live close
East
enough
Coast.
that I can take advantage of the fact that I can live in my van down by the river for 3 days while I go to BlizzCon.
Exactly. Versus I need to pay for a flight because it's winter, so I can't really drive there because mountains. Then I have to pay for a hotel, which costs more per day than the BlizzCon in total costs.
Yes.
I think actually because I didn't go last year, but the year before when I went, the hotel room cost was equal to my flight and the BlizzCon ticket.
Wow.
After.
You just need to rent a car.
Airbnbs are actually really somewhat reasonable.
Yes, Airbnbs were really good. Unfortunately,
got too late.
By the time it's great if you have a group of people, but if you're all by yourself, then eh. And especially with the new Airbnb rules, where what was it? Irvine locked out all the Airbnb, so you have to go outside of the corporate area, which then means you have to have a car or be willing to walk for miles. So no thanks.
Yeah. Uber was and Lyft were pretty good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I forgot.
There's the ultimate. Can you Uber the car to stay there for the night?
Guys,
just do it. Just do what Maldiva did. Toro and Tesla. It'll come pick you up.
So we're lucky. I mean, so Andallyn, you live in the States. I mean, flights aren't exactly that expensive going across the States. Windstead, you live within driving distance.
Mm-hmm.
I live within close flying distance, so it's not that expensive where I am right now. Imagine like if you're living out in Europe or down in Australia,
Yeah.
like
Oh, wow,
holy
yeah.
moly.
Yeah, and you're dealing with the currency exchange from that too, and it's so much like that's probably the toughest part about why it probably will never be 5 days long because like, but at the same time, it's just like everyone does it already anyway, practically.
Well,
So
I think the reason why it's difficult to be 5 days long is they already take like I think a week on either side to set up and then tear down. So that would just be another week of people not building games.
yeah, in chaos, yeah.
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 So
Alrighty.
all right. That was a good one, man. Thanks. That
Absolutely.
was really good.
Big
But-
improvement. Big improvement.
Indeed. So talking about other things that aren't happening, no, that doesn't sound right.
That are happening or aren't happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say that aren't happening, but
Yeah.
talk about things that are coming up in the future that we're looking or we're hoping to be part of. Why don't we talk about our upcoming PvP events?
Get in there and fight! Stop hiding!
Let's do it.
Yes, upcoming PvP events. So again, always Dalaran Gaming still doing his 5v5 1v1s. Have you guys checked those out lately? They're actually. I missed the last one. I missed the one last weekend. He seems to be doing it like every Friday and Saturday now. He's being very consistent. Oh, I missed it. It's I missed the like I said, I missed the last couple, but they're fun to watch. I've been really enjoying them.
Very cool.
The classic Duelers League is started again, which we talked about before. And shoot, I missed the article on that. He made a recent announcement, I think. Where
Yes.
was it now again? He said, "Oh, that's right. He's going to do an EU version on starting June the 1st.
Oh, fun.
And upcoming on June 20th, there's going to be a Warsong event. So,
When did he make that announcement?
pardon me?
When did he make that announcement?
He actually sent that to us directly. I think. I don't think he's made that public.
But we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mentioned to him, I was like, hey, let us know some stuff so we can get it out there.
Sorry, Tips.
Yeah. Where is it now? No. I'm sure he put it out there too because he told us that we could say it.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Cool.
Okay. Anyway,
Because I had a conversation with him that made it sound like it wasn't going to happen. So
it may have changed.
it sounds like it. I like to hear that.
Encourage Tips to do the classic Duelers League in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message I'm getting from this.
That's right. The tough part is figuring out where you're going to do it. Europe doesn't have a fair arena, So it's tough because, where do you host a CDL? Is it, do you just pick out of a hat? Do you just, convince people to transfer? Tough.
Take it out of the prize money and pay for the transfer.
Sorry, correction. I just took a look. I just found Tips did actually announce over on the CDL League Discord about the CDL EU on June 1st.
Sweet.
Boom.
He did that back on the 21st.
Cool.
So, wow. Okay.
Excellent.
Save myself there.
Well, did I just blow Tips' cover?
We totally just robbed him of that story.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be bad. That would have been bad. Anyways, okay. All right. What else is going on? Guys, what else is going on?
AWC is back!
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Stoked.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Last week was blast.
Question,
What happens
question, guys. Question for you, because this
what?
is the AWC on YouTube versus AWC on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Which experience, since this is the first time we're seeing it, and it hasn't been that long since the last AWC and we watched it on Twitch, which did you prefer, Twitch or YouTube?
Is it a question?
From a moderator perspective or from a viewer perspective?
I'll
Does it
go with the
change?
viewer perspective.
Okay.
Now tell me if I'm just an idiot with Twitch, but with the YouTube, because of my lifestyle, I wasn't able to watch it continuously.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to go back to the points on YouTube where I left off.
Yes.
And then just skip intermissions.
Yes.
And so I'm actually going to hand it that I think YouTube was the better viewing experience, because I was able to just be like, oh, wife wants me to go fix a doorknob. Wife wants me to do this or that. I could just pause it, leave, come back, and push play again, and it would pick up right where I left off, instead of with Twitch being a live stream that I missed that whole aspect of the tournament, and I have to wait for the video to come out so that I could catch back up.
All right. So yes. And kind of not really. So Twitch, you usually can go back and immediately go back to the VODs are usually available without highlighting. So you just have to go back. It's a little far. It's not right of it. It's not right on the front page. You can't just rewind. You have to go back into their videos and then find it, and then find out where you left off if you recorded it properly, and then move on. So in that way, totally, YouTube is much better. I can just pause it, and then when I come back to, I can press play, and it starts from where it was, and just keeps going. And then if I want to, I can just skip ahead. And you can actually, the one thing I liked about it is on the bar at the bottom for where you are in the time stream, you can actually expand it to make it bigger. So you're not dealing with just a little dot on a line trying to figure out where you want to be. I always find that kind of nice. So in that, yes, YouTube looks way better.
Well, let me
Now,
chime in
from
there.
a moderator perspective.
Let me chime in there. Don't jump ahead.
Okay.
I want to talk about this.
Well, we were just talking about being able to jump ahead and rewind. So I mean, which
Yeah, right.
do you want?
This
Jump
isn't
ahead or
YouTube,
rewinding?
okay? So it's interesting you say that. I didn't think about that. It's interesting, but so what I'll do is I'll amend my my thinking here, in that I would say I agree with you from a passive viewer perspective. However, I'm rarely a passive viewer when I engage and consume esports content. I'm more of an active viewer. Oh, sorry. I'm always an active viewer when I consume esports content, frankly. If I don't watch it live, I typically don't watch it. Unless it was like, you have to go back and watch this. So, for me, like, watching a live stream 20 minutes or longer behind the live point just sounds unappealing as hell to me. As an active viewer, because you lose the chat interaction.
You can catch up. You can totally catch up. That's one. Sorry.
Right. But that eliminates the feature all in together, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Right.
I can see that.
So, I would say that makes sense about why that might be useful from a passive viewer perspective. But from an active viewer perspective, I don't care for that.
But as an active viewer, you wouldn't pause anyways.
Exactly.
So it's a moot point.
I didn't pause it.
Do it. So
right.
I mean, in my opinion, I think the YouTube experience was better from at least from my experience, and I could always catch back up to live and see where they're at. But there were a couple of matches that I had to walk away from in the middle of, and on a Twitch stream, I'd have to go through all this extra hassle in order to get back to that match.
Yep.
Burgundy Boys versus Wildcard was one of the Bergen Boys versus Wildcard. I really enjoyed that because it went down to the final match, and I didn't want to walk away because they were just going back and forth. But I was just able to pause it, go do what I needed to do, come back, play, and I got to see the end of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's wonderful from a passive viewer perspective.
But there's a counter to this. There's two counters. Is one, when you do this, the chat doesn't stop. So even if you're in the past, the chat is still to the current timestamp.
Right, but if you start, you don't. Then you're not interacting with chat. You're just putting a linear, or chronological, like putting your comment on the record in a chronological order. You're not interacting with anybody.
Exactly.
That's still passive.
So that would be. I just want to be certain on people if they all of a sudden do this that they don't like 20 minutes behind. All of a sudden, like, oh my god, that match was awesome. And in the meantime, chat is like, what are you talking about? They're in an intermission right now.
Forgive my friend.
Yes.
He's a little slow.
Yeah. I have to agree with Drownlord here that it did for me. Watching it on YouTube was very different. I have to agree wholeheartedly. It felt like I was watching a VOD because it was YouTube. It felt like I was watching a VOD, not a live stream. The cinematics and stuff like that they've put together and made the production of AWC looks clean. It looks phenomenal. And like without that, it would have lost a lot of appeal for me on the YouTube platform. But that still made it feel like, okay, yeah, this is still a good production. Oh my god, dude, my heart races when it's like when the Supa's like 3, 2, and he's like counting down the ice block timer. I love that. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. He gets so hyped on these.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting. You actually mentioned talking about voices. Is one thing I've noticed myself, and it's happened notoriously throughout the MDI, and it started happening during the AWC, where there's a lag between the video and the audio sometimes that gets injected into the web viewers. And so what ends up happening, there's not being a desync. So what you have to do is you have to reload the web page to get it synced back up. But then you lose all chat history at the same time when you do it, which is annoying. But I think that's one thing I remember that's the big thing with YouTube and their codec that I don't ever remember seeing on Twitch. And I'll say out of it all, that's probably the biggest downside as a viewer, is having to occasionally, based on my internet connection or based on just like something happened on the way the packets arrived throughout all the servers in the US and then North America. I can only imagine what it's like if you're outside of the continent and what that looks like. There's some people who is like consistently after like an hour of MDI, they had every time they went back to the casters, they had to reload their web page just to get the mouse and the audio to sync up.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
And now you're saying on YouTube when you did that, you completely lost all the chat and you had to start from scratch.
The same is true on Twitch, right? If you swap off of a channel, you will lose chat history, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The trick to that is though, is if you pop out the chat, then it saves it, and then you're good.
Yeah. I never that really bothered. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, I think that there's a certain element that I don't like about the YouTube platform for WoW esports, where there isn't Tom Cruise pounds penguins in the chat because it's like everyone's real name. There isn't like people spamming the move and like all these emotes in the chat. Like you can see the hype. Like it doesn't feel like a live esports event. It feels like you're watching like some inspirational dude talk to you, but oh wait, he's actually kind of weird because it's Rich Campbell, so you still laugh and still watch anyway. I feel like it's missing that. I feel like if in order for me personally to be bought on, and I feel like I don't speak for myself here, is in order for me to feel bought on, YouTube has to have some type of way that makes it more gaming, that makes it more geared towards an esport. Something you don't have to rip Twitch off with how they do it, but I want to feel like I'm not using my Facebook profile to watch esports.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What I'm getting is that you are Tom Cruise pounds penguins.
I wish, dude. I wish. If I had the social grace to be Tom Cruise pounds penguins, I would not.
Jeez. So it's interesting because there was a person that was on there regularly, and they were constantly changing their name. So I think there's a way to change the name. I don't know how.
I don't either.
But I think there's a way that's not changing your account. Like you're not making. Okay. I don't think they were making a new account. Pardon me?
It would be a display name essentially, then, right?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not sure. I don't know how they're doing it, but I know they were
Maybe
doing
they
that.
have solutions to all these, but the problem is no
Maybe.
one knows, or I don't know, or it's not intuitive enough to where it just like throws you right into the experience, and you have to go
Fair,
digging,
yeah.
right? If you have to go digging, you'll still give some people that experience, but how many people you've reached with that experience will be limited.
True. I will say from a moderator point of view, having people's real name, just like how Meldeep was talking about on his Facebook channel stuff,
That's true.
it's much nicer. There's still some people that do some really edgy stuff. From the moderator point of view, it's interesting because apparently, like if I ban somebody over on Twitch, they know it. They know they're banned. They can go and they can go and make another account or whatever.
Shadow bans.
Well, okay, yeah. So they must have taken that from YouTube because apparently YouTube has a thing where you just hide the person. So the person's chatting away in channel and they don't know for sure if they're even being seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
now
did that
they-
within the last like AWC seasons on Twitch. Yeah,
I think
that was really
they
good.
had that. Okay, yeah, because YouTube had that for a while apparently.
That's good.
The one
Smart.
thing that irks me is that for choices on YouTube for silencing a person is much more limited than over on Twitch. So on Twitch, I could just delete a comment. I could time you out for 12 seconds. I could time you out for 24 hours.
Mhm.
YouTube doesn't have that selectability, which is kind of annoying. And on the same side is if I can delete a comment, but as soon as I time out a person, it will delete all their comments through the history.
For timing someone out.
Oh,
Yeah. If I
Wow.
hide somebody or time them out, it deletes all their comments through the history. And that actually happened a little while ago where there was a person they were engaged in a very not a bad conversation. They were doing pretty good. And then they started getting very personal. The two people started attacking each other. So I had to time the two out. And unfortunately,
you lost
because
all
of
the
that,
good part of the conversation.
exactly. And that was a little disappointing. I mean, as far as I could see, but I mean, still, like, I mean, I'm looking back like easily 5 minutes, if not more, in history, and it was gone. All their history was gone. So, but I mean, at the same time, if a person is going to go to a level where they're going to get timed out or deleted from a channel, maybe their comments aren't that worthy, anyways. So,
Hey,
Yeah, that's true, but it
Yeah.
sounds like a ban. Like,
yeah,
what's the difference?
yeah.
Yeah.
And their timeouts are only it's five. That's like 5 minutes. That's the most basic timeout you can give. So I can't even time somebody out for less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyways, but on that note, let's move on. So just so people are wondering, we got AWC for the next few weekends, known weekends. So this weekend coming up, the 29th and the 30th, we got the next cup on the 5th and the 6th of June. The next cup after that, which is going to be the last one, it's going to be the 12th and the 13th of June. And then we're going to have our MDI Global Finals. They were announced for the 10th to the 12th of July. The AWC Globals, we don't know exactly when they're going to happen, but I'm betting it's going to be probably about the same time in July. So fingers crossed. We'll see what that looks like. We're really excited.
I don't think it'll happen in July. I don't think it'll happen in
No?
July. Hopefully, but they'll probably happen. Gosh, I would say August. That would be my bet.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
Either way, I'm pretty excited for it.
yeah. Anyway,
So
pandemics aside.
So the cup number 2, NA and EU, have been all signups have been closed off. So we should see the qualifier round starting tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. And it looks like they're shutting them down Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on which cup and time zone and stuff like that, like which region. So if you're interested in getting in there, sign up. It's going to give you access to the tournament realm. It's going to let you be able to war game with players all around the world that you maybe some that aren't playing right now live because they aren't liking what is currently happening on the live ladder, or not. Who knows? But definitely, I think as one person said, what other chance would you have as a 1600 rated player to play against somebody like Wildcard Gaming? Well, that's one way.
True.
Just gotta say.
If that's something you're interested in, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our subject of analysis and roll through the covenants in Shadowlands.
I'm gonna light you up, sweet cheeks.
Let's do it.
So excited.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say about this.
They're all crap. Move on.
No, that's unfortunately not the situation. If they were all crap, then cool. You know, they all suck. But the problem is that some, and we're going to be, you know, I've heard a lot of PvE conversation about these abilities.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're here to do. We're not going to talk about the PvE viability of these abilities because you know what? PvP is better. So,
yeah.
That being said, let's look at these from a player versus player perspective. So, what we know is that when you pick your class and you reach level 60 and you're topped out, we're going to be looking at the fact that you get to pick one of these covenants, and it's going to be difficult to trade between them. Blizzard had said that, and so we are definitely going to be kind of locked in on what we do. Stream died. Are we back? Okay, not good. So,
Drown Lord. It sounds like. Sorry, just a quick aside.
Go for it.
Zico kept forgetting to mute himself or unmute himself, so he'd be talking.
Yeah,
it became a meme such that during the channels, people were calling muted in the channels. So then obviously he'd be like, "Am I actually?" And I feel like Drown Lord just did that to us.
Anyway, but yeah, no, some of these abilities I think are going to be incredibly good for PvP, and some of these abilities are going to be really bad for PvP.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully, you know, we want to bring this conversation up because we're worried about it, I think. You know, I want everybody to be able to play what they want to play. Mm-hmm. And it does seem that if you are pushing ladder, if you want to push ranking, if you want to be the best at PvP that you can be, you are definitely going to be shoehorned into a certain covenant pertaining to your class.
I will agree that there's some are min-max for sure. Some are pretty close. Like there's some serious gameplay capabilities where it's like I could do this or I could do this, and one's a bit more consistent versus risk and reward. So I fear that there's gonna be some people where they're just gonna do like me. I do the same thing like on Hearthstone where I just go on the internet and find the best pack or the best deck and just run with it. I think a lot of people will do that. They'll just see what the Sims pop out. But I feel like there's some here that we're going to talk about, which are definitely on the side. I want to go through these and kind of reserve overall judgment, but just be aware. So at the end, instead of doing a what's one thing we would change, I want to do like an overall judgment of the whole Covenant stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
This is my first look at these. I really haven't. I'm still sitting here like a fish without alpha because I don't have alpha.
Dude.
Yeah, so there is something about being first. Oh, yeah. No.
I mean,
you were second.
It's true. I was second.
So, but I will say one thing that I think here is an important dynamic, just to kind of dig. Yeah, Catcher, really, is an interesting dynamic is that the effect of being like, as you put it, Windstead, shoehorned or talent locked into saying like, if I want to min max, this is what I have to go with, and I kind of think of it like it was all like everything was coming down into a point, right? So if you design a class to where everything boils down to a certain point, like how much Versa you have or how fat you can make a Holy Shock, right? And that's like maybe the combination of the meta and the class build sets it down to where it boils down to stacking one thing or just like going hard into. Yeah, well, let's take the example of stacking one thing. What it does is it creates a certain paradigm where this either helps you or it doesn't. Like unless it helps you, it doesn't. It's waste. It's worthless, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it creates. So the way to min-max is to get stuff that only helps you, right? And then abilities therefore become, well, this helps. This either gives me crit or doesn't. it's crap if it doesn't. You know? So I feel like the way to avoid talent locking is allow for builds, right? In order to be able to have multiple builds, you have to make combinations viable. So by making other builds or combinations viable, you're no longer talent, or you're allowing like these other covenants to breathe. It's giving them a chance to be actually able to be valuable. So I think that's going to be what I'm interested to see a lot, is how much are classes, come Shadowlands. It's really hard to tell right now because they're very similar from what I understand to how they are on Live Realms. How much are the actual like min-max, graphs essentially going to change as we move forward? Because if they change and open up a little bit, it might allow us to use.
Well, and that's where the second part of this covenant ability is going. The covenant choices are going to really kind of time in, because you have the abilities that they give you, but they also give you a talent tree.
Oh,
and I haven't really played around with the talent trees much yet.
I don't think they've been fleshed out yet. So we're only we're only looking at one part of the whole system, and as such, none of the sims have been really done as far as I know, because we don't even have the other part of the system. So in that way, we can look at this one part, but like anything, it's like looking at it's like trying to tell how good a car is overall, with only looking at like its suspension and not looking at the engine or the
without opening the hood
features. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start off with the covenant signature abilities. Now, if you don't know the signature, no, you don't want to start with the signature abilities.
Those are last.
You saving those for last?
Yeah. Just like in the show notes.
Total amateur.
Okay. I mean, I would start with these, boss. I would start with these because we're going to be pulling back to them every time.
Nope, we're not.
Okay.
I think we're going to. I want to go through each ability. We're going to start with Death Knights. We're going to look at what the 4 are for each, and then we'll look back and we'll be able to look at what the signatures are.
Okay. Here we go then.
That's what we're doing, Ketra. All right. Hard veto.
Yeah.
All right. Boom. So the carrying ability is for the Death Knight is Shackle the Unworthy. Admonish your target for their past transgression, reducing the damage they deal to you by 5% and dealing 175% of attack power as arcane damage over 14 seconds. While Shackle the Unworthy is active on an enemy, rune spending attacks reduce its cooldown by 4 seconds. No cost, 30 yards range, instant cast, 1 minute cooldown. So every minute from the carrying ability, you are able to cast an extra dot, which speeds up your rune regeneration and applies a dot to the target.
Which also reduces how much damage they do.
Yep. By 5%.
Yep. And it has no cost, 30-yard range. That's insane. But
so this is just a button you get to push every 1 minute.
Exactly. But Venthyr, it surrounds you in a mist for 8 seconds, increases dodge chance by 10%. Wow. It also deals 20% of your attack damage as shadow damage, or attack power as shadow damage every second to anybody within 10 yards of you. And every time it deals damage, you gain 3 runic power up to a maximum of 15. Now, mind you, it costs a rune to cast that, but it's instant. It has a minute cooldown as well. So
8 seconds.
I mean, 8 seconds, 10% extra dodge. That's pretty good for against melee, right?
I could see this as being really good if you're Blood DK FC in RPGs.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I could see that.
Yeah.
The dodge chance.
I don't
too?
think this. This talent really, I think this is the PvE talent for the Death Knight, because you basically just, the more things that are around you, this is going to be great in Mythic Plus and stuff like that. I don't see this being very good inside of PvP.
Okay.
At least inside the arena. Good point on Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
But I don't see this being very good inside of the arena.
All right. Andallyn, what do you think about the Necroloader one? Why don't you read that off?
Sure. So we've got Abomination Limb. Sprout an additional limb for 12 seconds. Every 2 seconds, it deals 45% of your attack power as shadow damage to all nearby enemies and pulls an enemy to your location if they are further than 8 yards away from you. No cost, 20-yard range, instant cast on a 2-minute cooldown. This screams way better.
That's OP.
Yeah. I mean, it's to double the cooldown, but it's like so much better.
So Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a definite solid pick for that particular comp.
The only problem is you can't guarantee who it's going to grab in.
Well, it's always going to be the healer because you think about this though. You have 2 grips now.
Yes.
You grip the one guy and then it grips the third guy.
Hopefully. So are you saying you would prefer to use your grip and then pop this and have it grip the other person? Or would you rather just offset,
I'm pretty sure you could
the cooldown on your grip?
I think if you just that global would allow you to, do that. Pop this, use your grip, and then the second grip will pop on, I think is what's going to happen.
I can see that.
But
I can definitely see this being good.
Cooldown,
the only
2-minute cooldown, so it's going to line up a lot with your big bursty stuff. And so it's just going to be another thing that you can add into the mix. I mean, 45% of your attack power to all nearby enemies, as opposed to the swarming mist. That's only 20% of your attack power.
I think this is one of those things. It sounds good on paper, but I think it comes down. It gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit because it kind of is like it says every 2 seconds. So my question is, okay, how does it register 2 seconds? Does it wait and it just release to whoever is in the area every 2 seconds? Does it actually wait for someone to be in that zone for a duration of 2 seconds? Like, it's weird things that start to separate some abilities, or maybe like it'll become this is working not as we intended, kind of thing, to make it either incredibly good or just like obsolete.
True.
So the fact that it's 2-minute cooldown as well is the only other part that I'm just like, I don't know how well I don't know if I'm taking that in
with your big cooldowns. It's gonna line up with your big cooldowns.
Not for Death Knights. As a Walking Dead, you're going every 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is only good for every other go, ish.
Right. Exactly. So that's the only thing that I'm just like, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd have to see what else is available. It's hard to say yet.
Yep. Okay. So the last one here, I'm going to do it. We got Night Fae, brings Death's Due, which replaces your Death and Decay. So now when you corrupt the targeted ground, it causes 3.6 something percent of your attack power. Oh yeah.
11.
Yeah. So you get 11 pies of your attack power as shadow damage over 10 seconds to targets within the area. Enemies deal 1% reduced damage to you up to a maximum of 15% if their power is transferred to you as an equal amount of strength. While you remain in the area, your Necrotic Strike and Heart Strike will hit additional targets. Scourge Strike and Clawing Shadow will hit all enemies near the target. It costs 1 rune with 10 runic power and also is instant cast, has a 30-yard range and a 30-second cooldown.
Wait, does this mean that it goes up to 15% less? Like, is a wall reduced damage? Flat reduced damage?
Yep. That's what I look at, yes.
This is the TSG option, then. This is what every DK is going to take.
Yeah.
So now it also increases your damage by 15%. Now, here's the dirty question.
No.
Is that per target?
No. It does not increase your damage by 15%. It reduces the damage you take, but it transfers an equal amount of strength, which is just a modifier to your damage, right?
Yes.
Right. So it doesn't increase your damage.
You get 15% more strength.
No. And their power. Enemies deal. What does that mean? And their power, like,
is transfer. I don't understand that part.
It reduces their damage by 1%, and it's increasing your strength by 15%. And
That's an assumption.
It's a scale.
No, how I read that is
it
reduces 1% of damage up to a maximum of 15%.
Reduced damage, right?
That's how I read that.
And their power is transferred to you as an equal amount of strength.
Right, and so what is their power? That's the question.
Well, if it's, based off of their intelligence or just their damage done is a flat reduction, 1% damage reduction.
That'd be cool.
You get an increase 1% on your strength. And so they go to 2%, you get 2%. As they go 3%, you get 3%. Now, the question I have is that per target. So are you walking away with 45% increase on strength?
Yeah, it says 2 targets within the area. I would think that this would be just an aura based, meaning like if you had 2 people hitting you, it just ramps up faster, so to speak. As opposed to being like, well, I've got 15% from this guy, 15% from this guy, 15%, 10% from this guy. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's the case.
Yeah, I think it's just so. Unless it's like 1% up to 15%, but then it's just up to 15% is transferred to you.
Yeah, but I'll tell you.
I'm loving the idea of this.
I do too.
Can you imagine this in an RBG scrum, like attacking on the main pillar, or the main flag? Just drop this down and just start necro striking and scourge striking and just
your death and decay is literally a 30-second wall.
Yep.
That's so good.
Oh no, so it's only a 10-second wall every 30 seconds.
Okay.
So, what are your picks for PvP on this this tier list?
I'm taking Death's Due.
So I think that depends. Pardon me?
I'm taking Death's Due.
I mean,
you're taking Death's Due, right?
I'm gonna go Shackle the Unworthy.
I forgot that one actually.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a toss up between Shackling the Worthy. I think Shackling the Worthy is better for arena, but Death's Due is definitely, it screams RBGs to me.
Over 14 seconds. That's a lot of time.
Yep. Yeah, a 14
time to be reducing damage by 5% from your opponent.
Yeah, and dealing damage.
And dealing damage. Throw that on a rogue who's running away from you.
Exactly.
That's bad because you want to throw it on him when he's hitting you. If he's running away from you, he's not doing damage.
Well, he's running away to either go into Vanish, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a waste.
Going for Vanish. 14 seconds to hold on to him.
He's got a point.
Throw it on him. It's only a minute cooldown. It's only a minute cooldown. It's not going to be down for that long. And I mean, if you take every 45 seconds, he's going to have this dot on him. I mean, it lasts for 14 seconds.
Right, but why do you need a dot on him? You're a DK.
You're reducing damage done to you.
I think he's trying to think of if he pops a dot on him, then if he pops Vanish, then he pops up immediately.
Yeah, but you already have a feast of dots if you're unholy. You already have plenty of dots on him if you're Frost.
Even if you're Frost, you still have dots on him. Yeah.
So
I think
a dot doesn't provide you anything that it didn't before. I'm just trying to understand.
I mean, I like the damage reduction and the 175% attack power bonus damage to him.
Yeah. We're splitting hairs. We're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I just like that.
That's fair.
So
I like the 30.
That's my call.
Yeah, I like the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Demon Hunter stuff. This one's got some
let's do it.
Got some choices here. So okay, let's start.
You want me to take the first one?
Since you're right there.
Yeah. So we got Kyrian. Elysian, I think I'm saying that right. Decree. Place a Kyrian sigil at the target location that activates after 2 seconds, just like regular signals. Detonates to deal 120% of attack power as arcane damage and shatter up to 3 lesser soul fragments from enemies affected by the sigil. Excuse me. 30-yard range, instant cast, 1 minute cooldown. Interesting. Could be a nice way to get some burst energy, like right before you burst or something like that. You load up on health, you load up on that purple bar, get ready to go ham.
Play.
It's almost like a preparation.
Yeah. Now, mind you, that obviously telegraphs some stuff, but still good.
Yeah.
Then we got the
Yeah.
Venther has the Sinful Brand, where you brand an enemy with the mark of the Venther, reducing their melee and casting speeds by 30%, inflicting 400% of your attack power as shadow damage over 8 seconds. Activating Metamorphosis also applies the Sinful Brand to all nearby enemies. 30-yard range, instant cast, 1 minute cooldown.
Ooh.
Gosh.
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also
That seems
don't like that.
That seems really powerful.
Yeah.
So
Because
that
you get 8 seconds from casting the spell itself.
Mhm.
Then you Fell Rush, pop your Metamorphosis. That's 8 more seconds on them.
I'm guessing that there's probably going to be an internal cooldown that stops it from popping it and then metamorphosing and it happening again.
Maybe.
But it doesn't say that, obviously.
Yeah.
The only thing my only concern is that what's considered a nearby enemy. Because imagine if you pop this and suddenly you knock the healer out of CC with a very large dot over 8 seconds.
True.
So
that on a 1 minute cooldown is going to be brutal.
yeah. How about
typically?
Let's look at what's the Necrolord give it there?
Fodder to the flame. Commission a duel to the death against a condemned demon from the theater of pain. Vanquish your foe, release its demon soul, and create a pool of demon blood. Fighting within the pool increases your attack speed by 20% and reduces the damage that enemies deal to you by 10%. Fleshcraft treats the condemned demon as a powerful enemy, instacast 2 minutes.
So, just quickly, Fleshcraft, that's the one we're going to talk about at the end. That's one of the signature abilities.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Andallyn, we totally cut you off there. What was something you were going to say about the Sinful Brand?
I was saying earlier that that's a good point. I didn't think about that, but a lot of DH cleaves aren't too worried about breaking other CCs. You know what I mean?
Fair, yeah. They're expected anyway, so...
Yeah, you're not really going to break polys. You kind of... Yeah, so... Yeah, you're just kind of going Mongo, so maybe you don't care about that if you're at DH.
Good point.
I don't know.
Okay, so going back to the Fodder of the Flame then, what do you guys think? Getting blood from a vanquished foe that then creates a demon soul to fight for you?
PvE boys.
Yeah.
Too much movement inside of...
Here, come hit me while I stand in my pool. Okay, guy.
Well, no, you have to vanquish the foe first. What happens at the end? I mean, okay, granted, RBGs. What do you guys think about RBGs?
If you prep it, but it's a 2 minute cooldown, and who's to say that not while you're killing the thing? I mean, how the thing I'm not seeing is how long the pool lasts.
Sinful Brand would just literally just pump. Imagine RBGs. Yeah, you just drop Metamorphosis on the team. They all have an 8 second 400% attack power dot. Just like just
and they can't cast or fight faster.
Yeah. Imagine trying to heal.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. All right. Okay, last one. Night Fae. This one I like.
I'm intrigued by this one.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be as good
who's reading
as other
things.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read it.
No, the hunt. Charge an enemy and inflict 250% of attack damage. I haven't read one of these yet. 250% of attack damage as nature damage and root them in place for 3 seconds. The target is marked for 1 minute, increasing your fury from Demon's Bite and sheer against them by 50%. You may reactivate the hunt every 30 seconds to teleport behind the marked target and ignore line of sight.
Holy cow.
50-yard range, 1 second cast, 3 minute cooldown.
Ooh, 3 minute
1 second cast. Yeah.
Now, so I see this as...
So that's 3 minute cooldown to cast the hunt.
Yes.
But you can still reactivate it every 30 seconds to then... So that's just to mark them.
Okay. But they're marked for a minute.
You get 2 shots at them.
Yeah.
So
wow. Yep. So you hit it, you charge towards them, they get hit, they're rooted for 3 seconds, then they can try to run away. So I mean, really, let's say it takes him 15 seconds. So at best, you might get 2 charges out of this. You're probably only going to get 1.
No, because it lasts for a minute. So
Yeah, but you can only
if you trigger it at 15 seconds in, you can re-trigger it at 45.
Sure, assuming that you even need to because they're that far away from you. I mean, really, you're a demon hunter. How hard is it to chase down a target?
Not hard.
People stun. You know?
It doesn't get you out of
slow.
stuns, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I don't think it gets you out of stun, but if you get stunned for 6 seconds and they run away from you, it's a 50-yard range.
True. Yeah.
I mean, it's 50
I wish
yards.
people ran away from my demon hunter when I was stunned. I would never lose. I only die in stuns.
Andallyn, how many times did
no,
I tell you?
I-
Stop playing the
I think
1500
this
bracket.
one-
Megalol.
I think this one would be fun.
Yeah.
This
I
is
do
really
think
cool,
Venthyr
but-
is stronger, though.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Yeah, Venthyr just
I think
seems way
Venthyr is
way
going to
too
be.
strong.
I mean, just the potential of Venthyr on a single target kill target in PvP is just insane.
Now, if I could use the hunt in a route or something like, even then,
Oh, if it broke the route and then you jumped,
like
that
broke a
would
route on me,
be-
because
Yeah.
because I don't see a lot of value coming into a demon hunter from getting more mobility.
I mean, the fun part about this thing is line of sight.
It's diminishing returns. Yeah, that's true. It is fun. So
Yeah.
what then it means is it becomes incredibly niche.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
this
guess-
thing will be fun to play.
Here's an interesting question. The 250% attack power as nature damage when you first do it. Do you think that is also that happens every time you use it again, or is that the first charge?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And so by 50%, you may reactivate the hunt every 30 seconds. It doesn't say.
Yeah, I know it doesn't say,
I don't think it does. If it doesn't say that it does, I would have to assume that you're not doing it a second time.
I don't know. You're
This might be
reactivating the
really
hunt,
good at
which is a
twos.
charge to the enemy, inflicting 250%. In the way it said, I read it as it could be a possible where every 30 seconds
Sure.
you charge and do 250% as attack power.
Yeah,
That's how I'm reading it.
you could.
Of course, I also read that the prize pool for last year's BlizzCon was going to be much more than it was. So take that as it is. Okay.
Well, happens to the best of us. All right, let's jump into the
Since we
druid
got
ones. The
forest-
Kyrian,
since
the
since
Kyrian and
forest
Kindred
is on
Spirits.
fire from that burn.
I just burned myself.
No. Burned Blizzard on that burn. Since the forest is on fire. Let's go to the Druids to help put this out.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go. Kindred Spirits. Form a bond with an ally. Aw. Every 1 minute, you may empower the bond for 10 seconds, granting you an effect based on your partner's role, and granting them an effect based on your role. Symbiosis, what?
Yep.
So, Guardian.
Totally.
Kindred Protection. Protect your bonded partner, redirecting 40% of the damage they take to you, unless you fall below 20% health. Sacrifice. That's pretty cool. Restoration. Kindred Focus. Focus on your bonded partner, replicating 50% of all the healing you deal onto them. Cool. Balance and Feral. Kindred Empowerment. Energize your bonded partner, granting them 1 primary stat for every damage you deal. Every 50 damage you deal. This costs 2% of your base mana, 2.5 second cast on a 40-yard range for a 1 hour duration.
Can you say preparation room?
Well, don't you get all buffs wiped when you walk out of prep?
Yeah.
So I mean, you
cleanses your
revert back
auras.
to 0
Yeah.
once you walk out of the preparation room. Now, I will say this: Guardian, Hand of Sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
Restoration, Kindred Focus. Isn't that is
Yup.
it Bastion
Beacon.
or Lights?
Beacon.
I mean, basically, they're giving the
It's
Druid
Paladin Beacon.
abilities.
Yeah,
Beacon,
it's Paladin
So
Beacon.
Well, sorry, it's yeah. Beacon of
and
Light.
Kings,
Whatever they call it now. Yeah.
and then Blessing of Kings.
Yeah.
So they're
Pretty much.
basically turning a druid into a paladin for 10 seconds.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's the
Every
Kyrian.
minute.
Yeah.
For 10 seconds.
So
Where's the 10? Oh,
What do you mean?
Why
You
not
may-
just be a paladin?
Yeah, that's right. Form a bond
Oh.
every minute. Empower for 10 seconds.
Yep. Well, every minute you can. So it's you use it on a player, and for
Mhm.
1 hour you are linked with that player, and then every minute you can empower that link
To
for
do those
the
things.
bonus ability.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
I think the majority of this
Makes sense.
podcast doesn't like tanks in arenas. I do.
I mean,
but
That is correct.
I don't like fighting them. I'm sure the people that play them have no problem with it.
well, I'm a troll, and I enjoyed tanks in PvP.
Yes.
I balance them
All
a
right,
little bit
let's-
better, but hey.
Let's move on.
But
Let's
yeah,
not
no,
talk about.
I don't see this. I don't see this very good at all.
We'll see. I don't know what else is. If the rest is absolute crap, then maybe we'll go with this, but we'll see.
so
think-
Alright.
starting that this is pretty bad.
Ravenous Fury.
Event there. Ravenous Fury. For 20 seconds, Druid spells you cast increase your damage, healing, and haste by 2%. Stacking if you spend 1.5 seconds. Oh, sorry, stacking. If you spend 1.5 seconds idle, the frenzy overcomes you, consuming 3% of your health per stack, stunning you for 1 second, and then ending. Instant cast, 3-minute cooldown.
Yep. So imagine you pop this. You
And then
get
immediately
to...
get stunned.
No. Why? Why?
No, why immediately?
Yeah. Let them
Somebody
go.
will
Let
stun you.
let them go. Let them go at
Yeah.
it. Build the stacks. Build the stacks. Build the stacks. Boom.
You gotta have
stun,
stacks for it to matter,
1.5.
right?
Yeah. If you get
The only
stuck in the
concern
stun,
I have
you're
there,
screwed.
yeah, the only concern I have there is this what's the cap? You know, what damage and haste by 2% stacking. It doesn't say. Well, I guess for 20 seconds, so that would be 40% if
Right.
they're able to go to the full duration of the setup, which means they could lose 3% times 20 would be 60% of their health.
So let's. The real question there is, what's the GCD on the stack? So assuming it's actually using the 1.5 second GCD, right? So then over 20 seconds, you're looking at
15.
so 15%, which means if you get stunned, you immediately lose 45% of your health and are stunned for a second.
Does that DR other stuns?
It's only. I doubt it. It could.
Actually,
it's
it might.
a
It
stun.
might.
It's a stun.
Yeah, it might hit DRs.
That could be cheeky, actually.
Yeah, I
Now
can see
the
that.
3-minute.
You could use
the
it,
3-minute
not
cooldown-
stack it, and just put yourself on stun DR. Actually,
Well, you just
5
don't
hit.
just don't do anything for a second and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah. Take
I mean,
3% of your
I see
health
this-
to not get. Yeah, wow.
I see this as. I mean, you pop this when you are going for the kill, and this will be very powerful. I mean, if you're going at somebody and they're dropping and you've almost got them, you've got this pop, and you've done your preparation in that you've gone through and eliminated their crowd control on you. This could be very powerful. I don't like the 3-minute cooldown, and I just it looks fun, but I don't think this is the kind of risk reward that you want.
Considering the other ones we've already covered, 3 seconds seems a little bit long for this.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 minutes on this seems long.
Okay. Well, let's
Okay.
check out Adaptive Swarm.
Yes, please.
Yeah, command of Swarm that heals 240% of your spell power and deals 150% of your spell power as shadow damage over 12 seconds to a target and increases the effectiveness of your periodic effects on them by 20%. Upon expiration, travels to a new target within 25 yards, alternating between friend and foe up to 3 times. 40-yard range, instant cast, 25-second cooldown. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this a lot better than the last two.
That one screams boomy.
Yeah, no, this is hey Boomkin. Oh my gosh! So hold on. So it's 12 seconds.
Oh, this screams feral to me. I was thinking, yeah.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah, boomy. Yeah, no, you're totally right. But I was feral was in my
Yeah,
mind,
because
but
Feral works too.
Well, and
especially
I
with-
mean,
Their bleeds are
Restoration.
periodics.
Because I'm thinking
Think about
single
the damage
target.
you're pushing out is restoration.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been stacking a lot of spell power as restoration so that you can do big old healing.
You have a point there. I mean, this is periodic effects. It doesn't say healing or dots. So
And you have dots as restoration.
Yeah, that's a periodic effect. It's a hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you could totally crank this out, and now you're damaging Resto Druid. Okay.
Well, it's also the periodic effects of your healing as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But
So you can heal it. Yeah. So you could heal. You can send it over to heal your team member,
Yep.
or on first kick, right? Or not. Yep. Either, and it'll just ping pong, right? So either you heal a friend, then it deals enemy. Because it alternates between friend and foe. So the first one would be friend. Next one would be 150% shadow damage to enemy, and then goes back and heals your friend.
So,
or you do it the other way, and you get two
Humor
enemies
me.
and one.
Okay, so there is a mathematical probability that you could have this up on all 3 targets in a row.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Because you actually could start to throw out multiple of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it bounces up to 3 times, so that's 36 seconds.
Oh yeah, and it's 25
second cooldown.
Yeah, you can get 2 at a shot.
By the time it reaches the third person, yeah, I guess you could only have 2 up at a time.
Yeah, but still,
But that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal.
Let's look at the last one here for the Night Fae. They got the Convoke the Spirits, where you can call upon the Night Fae for an eruption of energy, channeling a rapid flurry of 16 Druid spells and abilities over 4 seconds. And you will cast Moonfire, Wrath, Regrowth, Rejuve, Thrash, Rake, Shred, and Iron Fur on appropriate nearby targets, favoring your current specialization. It's a 4-second channel though, so you can totally get kicked on it, and it has a 2-minute cooldown.
That's 4 spells a second.
Yep. Now, favoring your specialization makes me wonder if it's only like depending on what spec you're in, you only cast 2 of the 8, right? In which case, that doesn't make sense though, because I mean, as a druid, you can pretty much cast anything together, right?
Yeah. No, and this is where, I mean, for me, it's in Hearthstone. Do you remember that spell that you cast and it basically just cast a bunch of random spells?
Yeah. And sometimes it blew up in your face, and sometimes you owned the table. Yeah.
This, because Regrowth, Rejuve are on that list, this is not a guaranteed outburst of total damage.
True. That's true.
You could just pop a bunch of healing.
That's true. Actually, it doesn't say it, but like you said, it might be random. So it could be 16 Wraths. It could be 16 Moonfires. It could be... I mean, you could be standing all by your...
nearby targets, favoring your current specialization.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine being a Resto Druid and being all by yourself in the back line? You're like, screw it, pop this, and you end up just doing nothing but thrashes and rakes all by yourself?
Well, no. It would say, I don't think that would happen. I think what would happen is you would actually start to Iron Fur your...
Iron Fur, Regrowth, and Rejuve yourself.
See, but it says favoring your current specialization.
Yeah.
So if you're a Resto Druid and you're throwing this out, you might just be like insta
throwing a bunch of healing,
like and pumping your teammates. It's like another transcendence. No, tranquility.
Tranquility. Oh yeah. True. Yeah.
So I mean, my call on this one would be Necrolord. I think that's Necrolord's going to be the go-to for this. I mean, it's both Boomy and Resto Druid. Mm-hmm. You can have it up on feral 2 targets. Yeah. I mean,
actually, you could actually do that as a Guardian Druid too, right? Because
it says 240% of spell power. How do you get spell power as a feral?
I don't know. How does a feral or a Guardian Druid cast Moonfire?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have spell power, but I mean, you're just not geared appropriately to maximize your spell power.
True.
So I mean,
okay.
I would say this is a boomy resto, and that's really.
I disagree. I think this is more of a feral. I think if you're resto, you're definitely going the kindred spirit option.
Interesting. I can see that.
Because you wanna have targeted healing. It doesn't. Yeah. You don't want a random benefit to heal a random person on your team when someone's getting focused. Like that sounds trash to me. If
well,
I'm
I mean, it's you pick your first target. You pick your first target. It's not random.
Okay.
So you pick your first target, and you get 240% spell power healing on them over 12 seconds. So you get a whole nother dot. And then it's going to bounce after 12 seconds to another friendly target, possibly an enemy target.
No, it does not go. No, it swaps back and forth. Friend and foe. Alternating between friend and foe to 3 times.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
So, I mean...
I think we're on a toss-up on this one. I think there's some good options. There's some good options here. I think really that's what it comes down to.
Options.
We'll see.
But
I could be wrong, yeah, but I think that you're going to get more kindred focus healing throughput out.
But that's on a 1-minute cooldown. Versus a 25-second cooldown.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't think this is going to do much at all. I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be swarm? A lot less. Yeah, I don't think it's going to help you too much.
What? So you replicate 50% of your healing that you do, or you do 240% of your spell power every 12 seconds, or for 12 seconds, every 25 seconds, and it lasts for 36 seconds. I don't see how that math adds up.
Well, then what's the modifier for spell power to actual healing?
Well, that's what it's saying. It's 240% of your spell power.
You can't do the math because there's nothing that correlates apples to oranges here. Right?
Well, you have your spell power and you have your total healing.
Right, and you have no way of correlating those two right now. Do you?
For 10 seconds every 60 seconds? I mean, just on sheer uptime, I see Necrolord being far superior.
You know what? I think this is the one where, like I said, I think depending on the spec and depending on how you want to play it, but there's still some questions here. I'm kind of curious what our listeners think. I know we have some Druid players. So, what do you guys think? Are we right? Are we wrong? Who's right? Who's wrong? Because I'll be honest, I'm really liking the adaptive swarm, but I can totally see the benefits of the kindred spirits and
just bring a pally.
Well, and I guess that's the thing though. It depends on you can't swap these things out every time. So if let's say you're a healer and you pick kindred spirits, you're never going to play. Well, why? If you're a resto druid, why would you play with a pally?
Right.
Unless Rogue Druid? Maybe?
No.
Nah. All right.
No, it's with Resto Show.
Yeah.
That's why it's
let's move on. Let's move on. We're dragging this out. So let's move on to the hunter abilities. And first and foremost, it starts with the Curian with the resonating arrow. So fire a resonating arrow to the target location and fills the area with echoing anima for 10 seconds. This effect causes your attacks to ignore line of sight to the enemies in the area, and you have a 30% increased critical strike chance against them. 40-yard range, instant cast, 1-minute cooldown.
Ooh.
Can you imagine? Yeah. So now you're playing feral hunter.
Yeah, kitty cleave and you can't hide.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, you have to be able to see the location when you first fire it.
I'm sure it probably puts
after that you can line of sight and dump the ability, and dump on the opponent who's now been line of sighted. So you pop around the corner, fire your resonating arrow, and then you dip back behind your line of sight, and for the next 10 seconds, you can just berate them, and there's nothing they can do about it if they're within 40 yards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that just sounds so brutal.
Well, we gotta move a little bit faster if we want to get through these. So, can we read all 4 of them and then maybe have a little 5-minute discussion and then jump on to the next?
So I kind of like how we're doing this time.
Okay.
I think what we're going to do is we're only going to get halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I got to get. Yeah.
Do only 4.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so what we're going to do is we're going to do this one. We're going to go, I think, halfway through as Monk. So if we can fire through these ones, and then we can at least get going, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, let's move on then.
To Flayed Shot.
That was Resonant Arrow. Flayed Shot, yes, please.
Yeah. So fire a shot at your enemy, causing them to bleed for 250% of attack power as shadow damage over 20 seconds. Each time Flayed Shot deals damage, you have a 15% chance to gain Flayer's Mark, causing your next kill shot to be usable on any target, regardless of their current health. 10 focus cost, instant cast, 40-yard range on a 30-second cooldown. What if you're not BM? What if you're Marks?
Yeah.
I think everybody's getting kill shot, aren't they?
Oh, kill shot. I'm thinking kill command.
Kill shot.
My bad. Yeah.
No. Everybody gets kill shot.
Yep.
Good point.
I think it's the 20 seconds is a little bit of a drag. You normally want more of your damage to be in a more compressed time.
Yeah, as a dot.
Especially for your kill time. I feel like this is more of a PvE, although the kill shot bonus of it could be really good.
See, but this isn't to do damage. You want the long dot because you want stacks of Flayer's Mark.
Yeah. Well, you can. So every time it deals damage,
right?
Which I don't. How often does it actually deal damage? Then
that's the question.
It's just over 20 seconds. It just says, right?
Yeah. So if it actually ticks, if it ticks once every 2 seconds,
classic,
then that's 10 chances.
In Classic, a dot triggers every 3 seconds.
Wait, you mean 15 years ago?
So I'm just saying it the way that it works in Classic. And so every 3 seconds, I mean, this is a safe assumption. Every 3 seconds, over 20 seconds, so you'll get 7 ticks.
6. Last tick doesn't count because it's 21.
7 to 6 ticks. 6 to 7 ticks, depending on haste.
Sure. Yeah.
And so you imagine get 6 chances to get kill shot.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Ballpark.
So we have no idea if any of these are affected by haste, too. Right. All these dots and everything?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So there's so much that can change here, yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, because if it's 20 seconds, but then the tick on the flayed shot is modified by haste, you could crank that. Imagine it was a 1 second tick.
Just proc.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Now, mind you, 15% chance isn't big, but that probably works out to an interesting proc per minute, or a guaranteed. You're probably going to get 1 proc. At least,
and here's the thing for this one. Here's the next point that I'll point out on this one. It lasts for 20 seconds on a 30-second cooldown. So this is only off your target for 10 seconds at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
If
you fire this thing off every cooldown, you have 10 seconds where you're not in the opportunity.
20 on, 20 or 20 off, on 10 off. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, this could be really good depending on the proc rate of kill shot.
I mean, imagine. Okay, so here's a thought. Imagine it is on a 3-second cooldown. So you get every 3 seconds. It just happens to proc right where you get a kill shot every 3 seconds. That's 6 kill shots over 20 seconds. Plus everything else you're pumping.
Yeah, that's 50%. Okay. I mean, this could be really good. Could be really good.
Yeah, it could be. Okay.
Necrolord, Death Chakram. Please. Throw a deadly chakram at your current target, which will rapidly deal 50% of attack power as shadow damage 7 times, bouncing to other targets if they are nearby. Each time the chakram deals damage, its damage is increased by 15% and generates 3 focus for you, 40-yard range, insta-cast, 45-second cooldown.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I definitely more PvE. You know, I've seen this really good in Mythic Plus.
Yeah,
where you have those larger poles.
Good point. Well, I mean, it only balances if there's other targets nearby. Otherwise, it just keeps hitting the same person, right? So you got But I mean that there you go. There's your single target boss damage, right? So yeah. Okay. Last one. Yeah, I got this one. So wild spirits, you summon a wild spirit at the target location, which applies wild mark to all enemies below it for 15 seconds. While the wild spirit is active, each damaging ability used against a target affected by wild mark calls forth a spirit beast to strike your target for 45% of your attack power as nature damage. All right. So chances are, pop that up in the middle of an arena. Everybody gets targeted by a wild mark, and no matter who you hit. Can you imagine doing this and then doing spray and pray? And all of a sudden you have like how many spirit beasts popping up just attacking everybody? Hello?
Wait, so I'm trying to understand this.
Okay.
What's the cooldown? Is there no cooldown? What?
Oh, sorry. If you load it, so it's a 40-yard range, instant cast on a 2-minute cooldown. It's just not in the text. It's on the tooltip.
Oh, okay. 2-minute cooldown. Okay, I got it.
I forgot to say that. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. So I guess the question is how wide of an area is this? Is it if it's a 45-yard range total? I mean, that's most arenas, right? So if you can pop this in the middle, like I said, you can pop this in the middle of the arena. All your enemies get hit with wild mark for 15 seconds, and then anybody you hit creates a spirit beast that will then start attacking them for 45% of whatever your attack power is, on top of whatever else you're already doing and your teammates.
It's really going to depend on how small of a ring. I mean, if you're going against a cleave team, this could be really good. If you're not against a cleave team, though, this isn't good. I'd much rather have. I mean, my pick for this one is Resonating Arrow. I think Resonating Arrow is going to be a great.
I agree.
PvP.
Wait, I don't understand. Why is it better? Why is the Night Fae better against a cleave?
Because you normally have 2 melee on top of one guy. So you can get 2 targets in the Night Fae inside your wild spirit.
Does it do a cleave attacks?
It doesn't say. It just says it creates a spirit beast to strike. Mm-hmm. It actually strikes your target. So no. So I think it's just single target.
Oh, so it's not even multiple.
Okay. Yeah.
So you had said multi-shot, so I was thinking, so if
okay, so think
deep,
if it is
every time you damage them. So if you multi-shot,
that's true.
You spray and pray,
every
single
all
arrow
enemy targets.
Yeah.
Wild mark to all enemy targets below it for 15 seconds.
Yes. Anytime you damage anybody with that, it creates a beast that then attacks that target on top of it, on top of whatever you're doing, for 45% of your attack power is nature damage. So
I just see people moving out of it.
Moving out of what?
It's a 40-yard range, dude.
Wild Spirit is set at a target location that applies Wild Mark to all enemy targets below it. So it's like a concentration area. You know, you're going to drop a little pool of something.
Yeah, but once you got it, you got it.
Standing in
right?
it.
It doesn't matter if you stand in it or not.
Targets below it for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You have to be below it.
Right. And once he puts it, boom, down, you're below it. Because he's not going to drop it in a random location, right? He's going to put it on you, right?
And so you move out.
Yeah, but you still have the mark, right?
Expired.
But then they're already applied.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away if they move out of the area.
Are you seeing something I'm not?
I guess
don't think
we don't know how big the target reticle is. I guess I'm reading that differently. Yeah.
And it says below it, so they have to be in it in order for it to be working.
Sure.
And
so in that way,
to get full effect, they have to, I believe they have to be in it from what I'm reading. I'm still going Resonating Arrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Resonating Arrow. I could see Flayed Shot is also being incredibly strong with like a kitty cleave here. I don't know how often, unless you're going up against certain cleaves, that line of sight really provides you much of a benefit. So
I can see it. You know, if you're often as you're cleaving things down, they go hide behind a pillar. Drop that.
it depends
and
on
you
what
can
you're
just
playing
ignore the
against. It depends on what you're
Yeah.
playing
Well,
against, right?
It's just remember, you can line of sight them.
pillar. True.
So you're getting hammered. You disengage, hit them, line of sight them. You're still attacking while they come at you,
But they can't hit you because you're
and
locking
you're
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
lock them. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Big brain.
it's a
Yeah,
great
it
offensive
depends,
and
though.
defensive. It keeps you aggressive even when you're in a defensive posture.
Yeah. I can see that.
So
Okay.
I like that. I like that. But I
Right.
definitely agree. It's between Venthyr and Kyrian on that one.
Yeah. Let's
right.
talk about mages.
Mage?
So Radiant
Yes, please.
Spark. Conjure a Radiant Spark that causes 75% of spell power arcane damage instantly. And an additional, we're going to go say 30%, just shy of 30%
Sure.
of spell power damage over 8 seconds. The target takes 10% increased damage from your direct damage spells, stacking each time they are struck. This effect ends after 4 spells. Let me throw that in a
Can
combust
you
macro.
say combustion?
Oh,
Can you say combustion?
yeah, 2% of
It's a
base
one-
mana.
Fire mage?
But it's a 1.5 second cast. You can get kicked.
Yep. 40-yard range at a 30-second range?
Should be
Oh.
30-second cooldown.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
30-second range,
cooldown.
meaning
They have a
those
typo.
4 spells. Those
No,
4
Go
yeah,
ahead and
spells
just
have
scroll
to be
over,
cast within
scroll
30
over
seconds.
Radiant
Right?
Spark, and it corrects it.
Yeah, that's a
If you
typo.
mouse
in
over
text.
Radiant Spark. But
Okay.
I
So
mean,
wait,
I could
okay,
just see
just
you
last.
cast combustion, and then unload.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
Well, no. You would want... Sorry. You would want to get 3 stacks of Blaster Master and then use that. But it's a 1.5 second cast.
Isn't Blaster Master going away?
No, because you have like 4 seconds about 3.5 seconds. So you
No, I mean-
want to...
I mean, in
Like
Shadow,
in Shadowlands, isn't Blaster Master disappearing?
Oh. I don't know.
We'll forgive you. You don't have alpha, poor boy.
You don't even know either, so...
you have alpha. You
I'm
know.
just as close
I
as you
can
are.
check.
Okay.
Let me log
over
in real quick. I'll find out.
So on the Venthers, they give you the ability to do Mirrors of Torment. So you get to conjure 3 Mirrors of Torment to torment the enemy for 30 seconds. Whenever the target casts a spell or ability, a mirror is consumed to inflict 75% of spell power as shadow damage, and their movement and cast speed are slowed by 15%. The final mirror will instead inflict 198% of your spell power as shadow damage to the enemy, rooting and silencing them for 4 seconds.
Wow.
It's 4% mana based, 1.5 second cast, 40-yard range, and a minute and a half cooldown.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, as
Well, who
a
wants to
person,
kill
if
some
this got
healers?
casted on me, I would get, as a caster, I would be scared. Every time I cast something, I'm getting slowed. My my casting speed is slowed. I'm taking damage, and then if I cast the last one on the there's no time. Oh, it's for 20 seconds. So I guess at the end of 20 seconds, do I cast? Not cast? Like, yikes. Or do I eat the silence and the root, or do I not?
Oh, screw you, Destrolox. It's about time. Yes. What's the cool?
Yeah.
1.5? Okay.
Every 1.5 minutes, drop 3 mirrors for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
I
imagine
wonder if you
dropping
can
that
kill
even
the
on a healer.
mirrors.
What?
I wonder if you can kill the mirrors.
Yeah, that's a darn good question. But then your teammates would have to turn around and stop attacking whatever they're doing to kill the mirrors to allow you to keep doing what you're
Well,
supposed
no,
to do.
you could chaos bolt a mirror while the teammates kill 2. You just take a 15% cast
Oh.
speed and movement speed, but if after the mirrors are
Yeah.
done, doesn't that just go
True.
away?
Yeah,
I
once they're gone,
wonder
then
if this is more of a shadow, like
it does
Shadow
scream
Priest
shadow.
has a thing that does. They send a faint, shadowy image at you.
Oh
and
yeah.
Shadowy
there's
apparitions.
nothing, you can't interact with it.
Right, the shadowy
mean,
apparitions.
no.
yeah.
I think for this one, to be fair though, I think they should be interactable.
Yeah,
I
because
think
I could
that should be
see
fair.
I could see the meta being where you just kill one of the images or the mirrors.
Yep.
That way you can avoid the root in silence for 4 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Kill tendies.
All right.
Kill one mirror. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. What about Necrolord there, Andallyn?
So, Necrolord, Deathborn. Transform into a powerful skeletal mage for 20 seconds, oh yes. While in the form of a skeletal mage, your Frostbolt, Firebolt, and Arcane Blast hit up to 2 enemies near your target, and your spell damage is increased by 10%. 5% of base mana, 1.5 second cast, 3-minute cooldown.
So for 10% increased damage, that seems a little meh for a 3-minute cooldown.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh, and
I wanted to see like 40.
Imagine being a skeletal mage and then having the enemy disc priest just ban you because you're undead.
That'd be awesome.
Except no one plays Disc Priest, so you'll probably be all right.
Yeah.
Now I will say, I've logged in on a mage in Shadowlands. This lines up perfectly with your icy veins.
Okay. Yeah.
Your icy
wow.
veins is a 3-minute cooldowns. This is a 3-minute cooldown.
Which
And so
Is it on the GCD?
oh
even if it is, you're 1.5 seconds off of the GCD. So I mean,
yeah. Cast it 1.5 seconds. Pop. You're on a 3-minute cooldown. Then pop your icy veins and just start hucking frost bolts and fire bolts and
so you get
arcane
a
blasts.
30% haste plus 10% damage, and you're cleaving.
Yeah, this is trash if you're
really
fire
good. That could be really good.
right now.
10% just doesn't. That just seems meh though.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. All right. Night Fae, they have the shifting power, so draw power from the ground beneath you for 6 seconds, dealing 60% of your spell power as nature damage for 1.5 seconds to all enemies within 15 yards, while channeling. Your mage ability cooldowns are reduced by some funky numbers. I think that's a typo. A number of seconds. Every 1.5 seconds. It's a 6-second channel on a 45-second cooldown. So, okay. So what's
I wonder if it's like a full reset on all your cooldowns.
Well, it depends on. I guess it depends on how long you channel it for, right? But then you also have
Seems gimmicky.
Pardon me?
This seems gimmicky. People are gonna try and do something fishy with Alter Time, and like it's not gonna be meta. Huh.
That seems a bit. Yeah, it seems a bit. I mean, all you have to do is get interrupted. Now your cooldowns aren't really reduced. You just wasted a 45-second, 5% of your base mana too. Yeah, I don't know.
You wouldn't want to use this unless you had kicks out. So.
I'm intrigued. Imagine being able to reset your go
You have
as a
time,
mage.
Though.
All you got to do is
You have
just,
Alter Time
don't think
back,
of this
though.
as
Yeah, you have altered time.
Yeah, you're the one who has
Alter Time
Alpha
affect your
Windstead. You
cooldowns?
should be telling me this.
I'll check altered time on cooldowns. But I mean,
What?
if this ability does what I think it does, imagine going, icy veins on a target or, combustion on a target, and then you just line of sight, use this, and then immediately go again.
They're full health. If you have to line of sight, use this.
So now hold on.
They're full health, but
Mages?
what cooldowns did they use in order to stay alive during your last go?
Move W and heal.
That only works. Resetting your go only works for you if you're playing by yourself, but you're also playing with 2 other players on 3v3, or like maybe that works great in RBGs
Or twos.
right?
Or something. Yeah.
Or 2s. But I mean, as soon as you start getting into some major team play stuff where you're waiting, yeah, great. You just reset your go, but none of your teammates are ready.
Maybe a base defender mage.
True.
Maybe I could see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Assuming you didn't blow your trinket.
Yeah. What if Trinket's involved in it? Insane.
That would be epic.
That
If
would
this
be
reset
epic.
trinket too, that would be totally
No,
worth it.
it's your mage ability cooldown.
I know, but we're dreaming, Winstead.
It's true.
Well,
No,
now point
that one could be playful. That one could be playful.
point that
I
out.
think there's
While channeling, it doesn't say you have to hit anybody to reduce your cooldowns.
yeah, no, you just use it.
That's true. Okay,
Yeah.
I see where you're going there. All right,
And it's a
I'm good.
45
I'm thinking.
second, oh my gosh, it turns
The
your
rate-
3-minute cooldowns into a 45-second cooldown.
Yeah.
You can reset every 45 seconds.
Yeah, but Radiant Spark there. I mean, it's a 30-second cooldown with a massive amount of damage and a bunch of other stuff. Like
So
no.
what this tells
I'm
me
jealous.
is this tells me that you're. It says 3,000 divided by 1,000, which is 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Reduce your cooldowns
Okay.
by 3 seconds every 1.5 second on a 6-second channel. So you get 4 at most. You reduce your cooldowns by 3 times 4,
12 seconds.
which is 12 seconds. You're not resetting.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't make it worth it.
Okay, I didn't really. That didn't look fun. That looked weird to me. Like, why would it
Yeah.
be 3,000 by 1,000? I
think
thought
that's
that was
just a
like
syntax thing. I think.
yeah, weird alpha
So
stuff.
if it's only
that's what
reducing
it means,
cooldowns by
though.
12 seconds, that's not good.
After a full 6-second channel, yeah.
Yeah, that's just not. Yeah, I'm with you that the
Especially when you
Kyrian
have
definitely
alter
seems
time.
like the-
If you didn't have alter time, maybe it would have some value. But when you have alter time, it just makes this even more useless, in my opinion.
yeah, no, if it's not resetting the cooldowns drastically, then I don't think this is as
Yeah.
good as I was thinking.
I would say Deathborn is still tempting if only it had more damage, more spell damage bonus.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
it's a flat spell damage across the top, and I don't
Yeah.
know how that ties to. Because I mean, hey, what if actually 400% of your spell power is actually 5% increased spell damage?
Oh,
I
a
don't
good
know.
point, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, how does that modify across to? Yeah, okay,
Exactly.
good point,
How do you compare the apples to the oranges? I don't know. You know,
That's true.
so if it depends on like, I want to see what is the equivalent in spell, but you can't find that out because of how. Yeah, but
I understand.
I know what you mean. It does
yeah.
feel low. 10% is not a feel good number. I agree.
Nope. You see how that sims out.
But
Okay,
I think the radiant spark just
Yeah.
feels much
it just
cooler.
screams
Kyrian
good.
sounds really good. Yep.
Okay, Windstead, can you go through what the Kyrians give monks? And this will be our last class.
So we've got weapons of order. For the next 30 seconds, your mastery is increased by 15%. Additionally, Windwalker's Rising Sun Kick cooldown is reset instantly. And your Rising Sun Kick reduces the cost of your chi abilities by 1 for 5 seconds. Brewmaster's Cake Smash cooldown is reset, and enemies hit by Cake Smash take 5% increased damage, stacking up to 5 times. Mistweaver Essence Font cooldown is reset instantly and heals nearby enemies nearby allies for 240% of spell power on channel start and end.
Okay.
So even if you get interrupted, when the channel ends, you heal for 240% of spell power.
I mean, I wonder what happens if you end it.
Yeah, it's start and end. It doesn't say at the
Yeah.
completion. You know, when you finish, it doesn't say that. It's
So
just,
so imagine if you cast that, it pops, does 240, and then you end it, and it pops and does 240.
Huh.
Okay. Venther, the Fallen Order, opens a mirror for the next 24 seconds, summoning reflections of your Order's Fallen, Ox, Crane, and Tiger adepts every 3 for 6 seconds. Fallen monks have the mastered Ox, Crane, Tiger style that will attack your enemy with Cake Smash, heal with Renewing Mist, or assault with Fist of Fury, and assist for an additional 2 seconds. So I've been actually playing Monk on Alpha, and I've been using this one. It's pretty fun. Pop this, and out pops a bunch of extra ghost monks. It's like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, that's
just
what I was
like
saying.
So you do this with
Cool.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you have like a
Oh
swarm
my
of.
gosh.
it's a lot of fun.
You have the
This is-
Qing Dynasty army. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one reason why I'm kind of leaning towards Monk is because of this ability. It is really fun to push this button.
When
But
Walker
Mistweaver
is so OP.
you
As Mistweaver?
don't get to choose. You don't get to. It's completely random what you get. So you're not guaranteed to get a bunch of Windwalkers or a bunch of Brewmasters or a bunch of Mistweavers. It's random.
Oh, I never noticed that. Oops.
Yeah, no, it is random what you get, but it's every time I push this button, I just smile. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Bone Dust Brew from the Necrolord. Hurl a brew created from the bones of your enemies at the ground, coating all targets struck for 10 seconds. Your abilities have a 15% chance to affect the target a second time at 25% effectiveness as shadow damage or healing. Mistweavers get Gust of Mist. Gust of Mist heals targets with your Bone Dust Brew active for an additional 3/4 of your attack power. Brewmasters, Tiger Palm and Keg Smash reduce the cooldown of your brews by an additional 1 second when striking enemies with your Bone Dust Brew active. Windwalker, Spinning Crane Kick returns 1 chi when striking enemies with your Bone Dust Brew active. It's a 40-yard range instant cast on a 1-minute cooldown. Funky. So
I don't know.
you're coating a target for 10 seconds out of
So
every
you
minute.
throw an AoE. You throw an AoE on top of a bunch of people,
Okay.
Give him a
and then for 10
buff,
seconds,
debuff. Yeah.
you know, this is what happens.
But your abilities have a 15% chance to affect that target a second time at a 25% effectiveness as shadow damage or healing.
That's a lot of RNG.
So you need to be doing some serious AoE to make this worth its salt, right?
And this screams MDI to me, or raids.
Yeah. I feel like you're right about that.
Right. Hey, Winstead, can you get the last one there, Night Fae?
Yep. Fairlane Swamp. Fairlane Stomp.
Phalanx.
Strike the ground fierce. What?
Phalanx.
Feline.
Yeah.
Feline. Feline. Sorry. Feline Stomp. Strike the ground fiercely to expose a feline for 30 seconds, dealing 60% of attack power, nature damage, and igniting enemies with Breath of Fire. Brewmaster. And healing allies with an Essence Bolt when Mistweaver, and ripping chi and energy spheres out of the enemy, Windwalker. Your abilities have a 10% chance of resetting the cooldowns on Feline Stomp while fighting on a Feline.
This one again, I mean, it sounds kind of cool, but it screams PvE.
Yeah.
Like, how often are you going to be able to stand around for 30 seconds on a spot in PvP? Not including warlocks.
So,
All right.
I'm gonna say that I very
long
much
does it
enjoy.
stay?
Pardon me?
The question is, how long does it stay then?
30 seconds.
Oh,
Expose the
okay.
Feline for 30 seconds.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it has and the cooldown is 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's a 100% uptime. You can
True.
just constantly have this thing down.
Yeah, you're right. It screams.
But then you need people to be in it.
I don't like any of these.
I will say, Fallen Order is really, really fun.
It is.
It
I'll agree with
really
that.
is fun. I do think that the Weapons of Order will probably be the math one that does the best. You know, as just a big cooldown.
Yeah.
It's just a guarantee. I push this button, I will deal more damage for the next 30 seconds. Period.
Yeah. Increased mastery, boom. And yeah, whatever you're doing, it just does better.
Yeah, no. So you Rising Sun Kick, push this button, it immediately resets the cooldown for your Windwalker Sun Kick, and you immediately follow that up with another Rising Sun Kick, which reduces the cost of your chi ability. I mean, this one is just, I want damage, I want it now. Weapons of Order from the Kyrian. But the Venthyr one is really, really fun. It's fun to push that button and have all these monks jump out and just be like, "Wah!"
That is cool.
It's great. I love it.
But in actual PvP though, I feel like monks are getting snubbed. Holy cow.
I think Weapons of Order is going to line up fine. I think for PvP, I think Weapons of Order will probably be the go-to. 2-minute cooldown lines up with a lot of other people's goes.
True.
Fallen Order,
don't get me wrong.
Fun.
It is fun, but 3-minute cooldown, and because you can't control.
Yeah, it is a much high risk, high reward. If you get a bunch of Windwalker monks, then
you're laughing.
Boom. That's gonna feel really good.
Yeah.
If you get a bunch of Brewmasters,
Keg Smash does some damage.
Yeah, but not as much as the Windwalkers.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. So, I mean, high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a really good healing cooldown. It could be a really
Unless
good
you could
offensive
spec
cooldown.
into it in the talent tree to like always get like Mistweavers or something.
Yeah, and that's where it's like
That could be cool.
Yeah.
I could see that.
So I mean, Carrion is most likely going to be the PvP pick, but Venthir's fun. Just saying, Venthir's fun.
Cool. Yeah, and if it does have that talent tree availability where you can always take, or you can start to customize, you know, whether or not you're getting
Higher
all
percentage chance of what you
brewmasters
want.
or exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
We've been going for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We need to wrap this up. So we're gonna have to save the rest as well as the final question, if you will, for the next episode. We'll do. Sorry to everybody who's listening. That said, people are listening. Let us know what you think. Yeah. What do you think about these abilities? What do you think? Is there something we missed? Is there something we didn't think of? And
do you know how to correlate spell power to spell damage?
Yeah. Help us out with the math. God knows we need help with the math. All right, but in the meantime, so we're gonna skip the rest. We'll come back to that next episode. Let's get through the WoW PvP news, and then we'll roll out of this.
All right. Who ordered up an extra large can of whoop ass?
Let's get it.
Yes. I feel bad. We were spending so much time. Great conversation, guys. But there's some stuff here in the news. I feel like we're not going to give us justice. But I am sorry. We're running out of time, and I know you guys listening at home. You probably put us on pause by now. Anyway. So obviously, the last cup for the MDI happened for the America Cup on the 16th. Method NA took that. Not a big surprise there. So that is now listed off the total points for the 2 regions. And then we'll be seeing the top, I think it's the top 4 for each region is going to be showing up for the globals, which we talked about before. EU Cup number 1 for the AWC started on Wednesday last week and ended on Sunday. Congratulations to Method Black for taking that one. That was a bit of a hard-fought one. There was some... they stayed in the top, don't get me wrong. But I'd say Wildcard Gaming definitely gave them a run for their money, especially in the finals.
Well, Wildcard Gaming was pretty decisive
Pretty dominant.
And dominant in the Myth and Mayhem series. So that was that was great to see the boys bring one back home.
Exactly. And of course, Wildcard Gaming was not that big of a surprise. I was a little shocked how fast they went down to the lower bracket, but they held their own pretty good in there. Yeah. On the NA side, congratulations to Cloud9 for taking that. And I was surprised the NA Cup. There was a bit of a surprise there. Golden Guardians getting knocked down to the lower bracket pretty early in the right out of the qualifiers, and then also Method Orange. They, considering past experiences we saw during the Method Mayhem series and some of the other stuff, they stayed in the upper bracket pretty much throughout, and then got knocked down. But at the very end, it was a amazing battle between Cloud9 and Method Orange. Yeah. Highly recommend go and check it out.
Yep, Cloud9 looks good. I'm surprised that Cloud9 looks good. I'm surprised Space Station went down. I was expecting them to see them, but people are finding answers to the double monk Destro. So I guess because they looked insane, like unstoppable. Like they lost one game in all of Method Mayhem. One game.
There was some. I was a little surprised on this cup I understand, but I understand the differences is that corruption was there. People definitely got some more time on the TR on the tournament realm to figure out what to play and what to use. And at the same time, it was surprising the differences of people. You know, some people using full versatility versus some people using full gushing, and just the choices that the different teams were running.
I will say I enjoyed the mind games that were being played.
Yes.
It's a good thing about corruption.
I'm not a huge fan of corruption in arena, but it is entertaining to watch the mind game.
It is.
So,
it is.
Yeah.
Gladiator Spite is always interesting when it's thrown down and does nothing because the person's wearing no corruption.
Yeah, and it's like, oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so there were some hot fixes. One was the darkness global cooldown is now affected by haste. Apparently, that wasn't happening before. So that's actually important for demon hunters.
Yeah.
Another one which we're going to roll into, but it is a hot fix, so I want to talk about it. So there's corruption vendors that have been added to the game. So obviously we know this. We can go to Mother. We can use the tokens to buy the corruption we want to use. Originally, when it was first implemented, there is an issue with previously cleansed items that has been removed. So regardless of when you cleanse an item, you can now add whatever corruption you want to it, which is huge.
This might get me back into live. Being able to apply corruptions and get my gear slotted out appropriately without the RNG of like, I have to go and
you will enjoy it and you will hate it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So upside, and I love that what Blizzard did this, the fastest way to earn the currency is PvP.
Oh really?
Yeah. You earn more what's the name of it? The help me out here, guys. The Nyalotha currency for this
Echoes.
stuff. The echoes. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you can, if I'm not mistaken, you can earn more echoes per win in arena than you can doing anything else in game. Just
really?
time wise. That said, the vendor doesn't have everything at the same time. It's on a cycle. Yeah.
Ouch.
And there's some conversations. People have been asking Blizzard to change that. At least let us know what the cycle is, what's coming up down the pipe. Because right now, EU, because they follow the same cycle, and NA cycles first, EU has a total understanding of what's going to come down. So if they want, they can buy something now, or not, and wait because they know what's going to happen. Right. Versus NA, we're like, oh, should have bought that last week. Yeah. Okay. I heard some people, what they're doing is they're actually buying a preserved corruption, and then if there's something better, like, so they buy that. Pardon me.
You sell it back.
Yeah, sell it back and get the echoes back. Yeah. So they'll buy it like Monday night or the night right before,
like 48 hours before. Yeah,
exactly. And then if there's something better, they can sell it back and then buy what they want. So
okay.
So anyways, there's a few people that I think have signed back up and like, yeah, I can get what I want. Now I can be powerful. And then they burn themselves out in 48 hours just trying to get enough echoes. And then find out that they missed the cutoff for buying whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Anyway, WoW Esports finally has its own Twitter account. So have a link for that in the show notes. Obviously, if you want, it's just at WoW Esports, all one word. Go check them out, and they are highly active over there. I have a feeling that the person behind that is probably Thist, since that was part of what her job was to do that outreach stuff. So I'm guessing that's who it is.
Yeah. Thanks, Thist.
Yeah, thanks, Thist. Speaking of Twitters, actually, there's another one out there called Battle Stance WoW. They reached out. They started this new thing. What they're going to be doing is they are going to be. Looks like they're posting a bunch of stuff, covering a bunch of the games and how they go. But also they're doing post analysis with statistics in that.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's really amazing. They posted up on Twitter the graphic. They've also put it up over on the /r WoW World of Esport or or World of
Lifted?
PvP, I think it is,
Okay.
the Reddit I keep talking about. I think it's really good. So it shows a graphic showing
Oh, this is amazing.
showing specs played a number of times, and also win-loss ratios. They even put up their MVPs, first, second, third for who won. It's really awesome. Go check it out. If you have any feedback, by all means, throw that at them. They're totally open to getting some feedback and improving their product. Speaking of Twitter, there's two other things on Twitter that I saw this week that I really want to talk about. One, screw Savix.
What?
Screw Savix. He totally trolled Twitter.
Yeah.
He put up saying that he had alpha, and he had a doctored graphic showing solo queue as a button on.
Oh yeah, you click the link. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have the link in the show notes. Go check it out. Read Holinka's response.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my, it was amazing. It was so amazing. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that. He trolled us hard.
I just
There you
opened the tweet.
I think that just said it right there. Last but not least, I'm going to throw this one to Andallyn because I know he's been on the seat wanting to talk about this. One last thing that just popped up on Twitter today.
Yeah, so Zaryu is actually offering to give you some free coaching if you're a mage. So all you got to do is send him some video footage of your own gameplay. He's willing to do this FOC, which means free of charge. And essentially what he's looking to do is start up a new kind of aspect of his content here by doing some coaching. So he's looking for some content to coach. So if you're a mage out there, take some gameplay. It could be a really cool chance for him to kind of give you some pointers and to be featured on his analysis videos.
I wonder
Exactly.
if he'll do classic.
Probably not.
Probably not.
He's long.
He was in the classic Duelers League.
Yeah, and then he left. He gave out. He's just like, this wasn't really a thing. This wasn't my thing. He gave a spot to Zico, the Black Lizard, who actually did really well.
He did. All right. As we said before, Pour went out for BlizzCon. It's been canceled, not happening end of October, early November. But they did say that they're looking at early 2021 now.
Okay. So maybe
may
two
be.
BlizzCons in 1 year.
I doubt that. But hey, if they did, holy moly.
I'm in.
2020 is just
Rip.
setting up for 2021 to be like the most lit year we've ever seen.
All I got to say is rip my wallet if they do 2 in 1 year.
Gosh, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you roll need on free? No, you did not.
No, I didn't.
I did.
All right. Okay, shout-outs. Andallyn, do you have any shout-outs?
No, other than Zaryu. Send him your footage. Yeah.
I have to admit, that was pretty awesome. Oh, I think he said he's going to put it up on his YouTube as well.
Yes.
So that I know that's kind of scary for some people, but I will say the best way people can learn is by looking at their own mistakes as well as other people's mistakes.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I'm going to give a shout out to all the Patreons over at Warcraft Radio. Love you guys. Keep it up. Thank you very much. And I know that there is some more work in the background to try to make some more exclusive content over there at the Patreon. So if you enjoy what we do here, as well as all the rest of the awesome shows over at Warcraft Radio. Oh, and we just picked up a new show as well. Girls Gone WoW are over there now as well. Over that network. It's amazing. So please, 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 if you enjoy our stuff or their stuff, toss a coin to the Warcraft Radio, and I'm sure people will enjoy it.
Plenty.
Pardon me?
I said, "Oh, Valley of Plenty."
Oh, indeed.
Spasibo.
Oh, Windstead, do you have any shoutouts?
You stole my shoutout. I have no reason to be here anymore.
Yes.
Привет, comrade. Очень приятно.
No shoutouts for me, guys.
Okay. Well, I guess Windstead, can you kick off the outro and tell everybody where they can reach us?
Sure. You can visit the Warcraft Radio website to find us and many other great shows at warcraftradio.com.
You can contact us directly with a tweet to @technically_PvP, or you can email us at technicallypvp@gmail.com.
Indeed. Or you can join our discussions over the Warcraft Radio Discord, and links for all these will be in our show notes. I want to thank everyone for listening. Really enjoy you guys, and we will chat with you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night. See ya.
Good night.